Oh, I'm sorry. Good morning. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. I fell asleep with the little one and now I'm awake. I could clean the house, but instead I was like, well, my brain won't stop, so we'll just do this real quick. Um, oh my ever loving goodness. So hi, I apparently have been out of the world just long enough to not have gone crazy. Listen, I get that when we have a brokenness or a rawness, when we don't handle it, then there becomes a layer that we try. And if this isn't a healthy layer, then it's going to stick around. And then it's going to cause its own brokenness and its own rawness that we're going to need another layer because nobody can be raw all the time. We can either be heal and be healthy, or we got to cover it up with some more stuff. And then what happens is if we don't heal and we don't, then we've got this stack that is just a mess. I don't know. So hi, my name is Lori Kilpatrick. This is SIFAC, which is Settle In for a Chat, which was fun because I was going through my videos. It turns out I actually started this like 2 years ago. I just didn't follow through. But that's okay, because every step in your journey is an important step if you're learning from it and growing, right? Well, I think so. It is the only way I know to function in a super positive manner or a progressing manner. I know my husband doesn't like me to get up with him first thing in the morning because when he gets up, he's like, oh, and I'm like, when was the last time? Anyway, I've been a little overwhelmed by other people's crap. So I let it go because it's not mine. Best thing I've ever done for me. And I know I was like, hey, where do we start? Where do we start with this? So I love having help when I'm stuck, because for like 20 years of my life, I surrounded myself by people who got stuck in their head, people who lived in their head, people who insisted that you were the person that that I was the person that they imagined in their head. But this was just the norm. Like this had just become acceptable to me. And then when I pursued truth, when I sought truth, I went to all sorts of stuff. I went on a very long and windy path of this and that and the other, of learning and talking and growing, of meeting with people and leaning on people and trusting people, and then realizing that there has to be something bigger. And my son was what helped. We were out at the farm. My husband was gone. I had to take care of the animals. It was dark at 5 because it's winter time. We're in a big old drafty house, so we need to stay in the one room to stay warm. And the animals needed taken care of. And I didn't want my small child to get the shock of the cold. So I told him something that I remembered from my childhood, that was at a sermon in church. I heard them talk about telling the devil to get thee behind me. So I told him, you are safe. You are loved. Because he was scared of the darkness. Not the dark, the darkness. I'm like, okay, well then just say, get behind me. Get behind me. I mean, like, leave it behind you. Like, don't like stand behind you and freak you out, but like it's gone. When you say get behind me, it means that it's gone. You are safe. You are loved. Get behind me. God is bigger. God is stronger. You are safe. You are loved. Get behind me. God is bigger. God is stronger. And so I said it with him a couple times. He said it on his own a couple times. And then I went out and I took care of the animals. Well, we did that whole winter long. Oh my gosh, it is just amazing to me, because God didn't pick me up and give me a shake, smack my bottom and say, well, listen here, Missy. He said, and things stick when they're supposed to stick. And it's so easy for us to just disregard them. Now, I don't know what your path is like, because I'm not you. I'm just telling you what my path is. And I can't tell you how to take your path. I don't want to be responsible for your path. I'm barely holding on by a thread here on my path, going, oh, we're not here. I'm sorry. So sorry. Right? Leaning on my own understanding again. Like, and I love a good reference book. Yeah, I'm surrounded by reference books right now. I'm not gonna, because they're like, anyway, I'm surrounded by reference books right now because I want to know, hey, I have this thought. Is this a good thought? Where did this thought come from? Is this my thought? Is this a good thought? Why is this one sticking? Do I need to let it go? Do I need to pursue it? You know, like a childlike wonder is how my brain goes. So just recently, I mean, like within the last probably 6 months, but it might have been a year by now. And a little bit before that too, like there was a change in government, right? And we align on our values with one person, and the other side, their thing, their rally was anything's better than him. And a whole group of people were like, yeah, anything's better than him. Okay, that's a dangerous argument in any situation. Like, that is a dangerous argument in any situation, because that's saying that you know that this is as hard as it's ever going to be. I'm making this personal now. I'm not talking about our country, although it applies. That's just a bigger level, right? This is as hard as it's ever going to be, so I'm out. Okay. Except if this is as hard as you've ever had to deal with, that means it's a challenge. It's a hello moment, whether it's a hello, you better go, or hello, what do you have control over? Or hello, let's take a step back. We're too close up into this, you know? Or we can just be like, I'm out. But if we're not honest with ourselves about why we're out, she said this, but it's because of what happened all the way down 7 layers that I never learned how to deal with well. She's triggering something that is owie and painful and has a lot of pressure on it because of all the layers over the year. I get it. Like, believe me, I get it. But if we heal this little one, if we take that moment that we just avoided before and we face it, and I don't know how to do it alone. I would never want to do it alone, but never, no, never will I ever leave you nor forsake you. Like, always. I don't know how to do life without the Bible. So if that's super offensive to you, I would ask you why me having a solid foundation is offensive to you. Like, I would ask myself why that is. That would be the first step. Because what do you care what I do? What do you care what I do? Anyway, that aside, if we aren't taking responsibility of our lives, if we aren't taking a responsibility of our thoughts, if we aren't taking responsibility, if we don't take responsibility of our thoughts, if we've taught ourselves to react instead of taking a deep breath and get over into the calm stuff, because reactions are always going to come from off-gassing from all of these wounds. But a calm response comes from a healthy, non-off-gassing. Oh my gosh, now we can take it to the gut. Anyway, I think that way. Everything's connected and everything has to do with each other, because it kind of does. We can't have a group of people deciding the fate of the country and their rally cry is anything's better than that. What level of maturity is that at? If that's the crowning feature of this, we got a problem. And honestly, well, that's a whole other thing. So now, after that, I was shocked. I was shocked, super shocked. Then the whole country kind of went crazy. When I first heard about the Wuhan virus, I didn't think much of it. It sounded like the flu to me. But then they changed the name to coronavirus. And I was super confused because I understand that, like, you have feline, and then you have like panthers and lions and house cats. So if you have the flu, or, I'm going to go there, all of these things, they're all under like the Wuhan, it's all under the family genus of coronavirus. These are all coronaviruses. So that's like asking for, if my last name was Johnson, you said well, maybe we shouldn't use Johnson. My last name was Smith. You're like, oh, and Carol Smith was offensive or like attacked you. If Carol Smith physically attacked you, if my last name is Smith, I should not be held accountable to Carol's, because we're different and we do different things. You see what I'm saying here? So when it became this broad thing, I was like, this is not good. We got some lying going on here, and I don't like lying at all. And then I was told that now that this is not, like, it's just crazy to me. I was told that, like, I have people in my life that genuinely believed that if this guy won, there would be rape camps. And I'm like, what? But they genuinely believed it, and that's why they were voting over here. Like, apparently this side did such a good smear campaign that it didn't matter anything that was happening over here. And I was just appalled, because some things that are super important to me is that we are free to make our own choices, that we have a good defense for our country, and that there's a level of sanity within the Oval Office. I don't feel like I have super strong values here. And follow the Constitution. Like, the Constitution should be our country's foundation, because without a foundation, what do you have? And I found that in my life too. I use the Bible as my foundation, but not because it's a book, but because I was led to it by healing. As I cried out in the middle of the night, as I broke down in the restaurant's bathroom, as I was having the lowest moments of my life, when I asked for help, it always came. When I went through strife, when I went through horribleness, when I would stop in the middle of reacting, there would be a calmness that was beyond me. And I got to choose to accept it or to push it away. And I realized I used to just ignore it. And now I search for it. And there's science backing up all of that. I don't know if you've seen my 6-second video. Taking a deep breath, taking control, having self-control, seeking things like truth and love and joy. What are these things? What do they mean? I don't think anywhere in the Bible, I don't know anywhere in the Bible where they tell us to seek happiness, because I have found that with gratitude, happiness comes. When we're grateful for the things that we have and have control over, it makes things happy. So I've been going to AlAnon for over a year, and it is an amazing group. I don't believe my husband is an alcoholic, but he definitely understands that he has alcoholic tendencies. He doesn't act on them, but he has the drive, so he does go to the AA side. Sorry if that was TMI, and I hope he's okay with that. But on the AlAnon side, it's the same program, but its focus is just a little bit different. But having control over your own thoughts is definitely a thing. We say a prayer at the beginning that's not in the Bible. It's just a prayer that was written that they've adopted. It's a very long prayer, and they've shortened it up to, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. It's actually under attack right now too, because we very much understand that life is a process. So, and I hate that, we versus them. I hate to do that. I'm so sorry, but I am taking a stand on this one because I believe it's true. My pathway to here did not go like that. It went. I feel like I've been here before. seriously, it's been insane. Like, I don't know. Anyway, it has not been a straight path at all. I have done all sorts of things. I have been involved with all sorts of groups of people. And it was because I'm the type of person that, for whatever reason, in my 20s, I had to make the mistakes for myself. I couldn't just handle other people making mistakes. But anyway, we believe that God, as you understand them, like whatever that means to you, is not important. That's not the focus of the AlAnon group. AlAnon group's focus is to have self-control, understand where your powers lie, right? Grant me the serenity. It's your peace. Your peace. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Well, I can't change your thoughts. I can't change your actions. I can't do anything for you. Let me tell you, that's helped so much in my parenting. I can't make my child sit down. I can force them to physically sit down, but that's not the goal of asking them to sit down. We want them to listen to us because they trust us and they understand that we have their best interest at heart. Or like we say, my job is to keep them safe and help them learn. And their job is to listen and learn. That's their job. That's how we approach parenting, right? So if they are not listening and learning, they are not doing their job, and they are not allowing me to do my job. So we work it out. Why not? What's going on? Because if they don't know, if they don't understand how to regulate themselves, if they don't understand how to deal with all of these emotions, if they're only reacting and hitting and kicking, oh my gosh, my 2-year-old wakes up screaming and hitting and kicking. So we're just like, try again. Then I'll lay back down. And sometimes she will too. And then she'll sit back up and then we'll be fine. And sometimes she sits back up and kicks again. Well, guess what? I feel like that too. But I understand that hitting and kicking people doesn't ultimately get me what I want. So why would I do it? It doesn't have any good purpose. Anyway, I can force them to sit down, but it doesn't do any good. Oh shoot, I got off track because now I'm like, oh, my brain I stayed focused for so good. And now I feel like I need to get back on this track. I was like, oh no, I got off on a tangent. Anyway. Oh, I was even streaming along. Well, within the last year or so, we ran into people that are convinced about the camps. And in a Bible study, I met a group of women that believe that the earth is flat. And then they went on to tell me that I only believe that because of what I was taught. And I'm like, what? No, honey, it's because I live out in the country where you can see forever. And the curve is at 12 miles. And I know that because there's a city that's 11 miles away and I can see, and there's a city that's 8 miles away and I can see, and there is a wind farm that is 14 miles away and I can only see the tops. What? Also, I've been in a plane before. And when I go up, if it was flat, I would be able to see more of it. But I don't. You always see the same circle, which is what would happen if I had a round thing, which I don't. Coming off of my head, you're always going to see the same amount. Whereas coming off of here, you're going to see more and more and more. I'm like, I feel like that's common sense. I genuinely believe that the earth is flat and that, oh my gosh, I'm like, okay, first of all, your life is so together that this is what you use your time thinking about, because most of my life is about, okay, is there anything in the washing machine? Did I thaw the chicken? I didn't put the outfits together. Abby's, okay, I'm just going to hide that shirt. Sorry. I'm going to hide that shirt so that she doesn't even know that that outfit's a possibility. You know, like my life is about what's going on in my life. We have to get out to the farm. I have to finish this. I have to do that. This is done. We need to schedule this. We need to do that. Like seriously, most of my life is caught up in my life. I just don't have the extra time to put that much thought into stuff. Now, I also know that when you're doing a new thing, sometimes it's confusing. Okay, so we're very natural in how we treat things. We believe that emotions affect things. We are one of those people that we want whole body health. We want whole body health, mental, physical, emotional. We want whole body health. So we talk about things and we work through things, and we are accurate in our speech about what's happening and how we're feeling. Even if it's a hard thing where it's like, I am just angry right now. And it's not, I don't hate you, kind of. No, I don't. You know, like we're accurate. We're accurate. Where it's like, I have a lot of emotions right now. I just need to go breathe. I just need to take 10 deep diaphragmatic breaths without people climbing on me or without anybody trying to talk to me. So I'd like to go in my room to do it because I don't want to go in the bathroom and do it. You know, it's like, I just want to, because the bathroom needs cleaning. I want to take deep breaths in there. I'm huggable and relatable. Anyway, but being accurate in your speech helps. And it doesn't just help me, it shows my husband, hey, did you know this was a possibility to like not just react? And my kids, the same thing. Oh gosh, I feel like I'm all over the place. Well, guess what? This isn't that far into it, so I kind of am all over the place. Though the AlAnon principles, is that where I got cut off? God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and that's a good word because we need courage to change the things I can, and then the wisdom to know the difference. So we get peace when we understand what we have control over. So let's take the opposing sides, right? When you're talking about every 4-year vote, and that's the only one you're involved in, I would encourage you to bring it down to your level in that. Be involved in your community. If you feel strongly about public school, get on the school board. If you feel very strongly about what books are being put out there, get on the library board. If you feel very strongly about anything, get involved in it. Become whatever in your church. They make groups in your church, you know, like be whatever, like get involved in your community. Vote. Learn about your people, about your county supervisor and your county auditor and all of your people that involve your community, because that's where you have a real voice. Because at this point, you get a say with the community of people that you work with. And I love it where they're like, a school is good. Well, is the school good? No, the building itself doesn't do much on its own. It's the people within it, the people that have made an agreement about how this is going to go. And when we make an agreement about how this city is going to go, and you use your words and you're accurate in your speech and you choose life for everybody, you'll learn to adapt and change for the good of the community. If we upend for one person, we just are stupid, in my opinion. I know that's a swear word to some people, but we are not using our brain or having a long view if we upend the community for one person or 2 people or 5 people. Now, a good community is going to be constantly changing, but if it doesn't have a solid foundation, then it's going to crumble. The wise man builds his house on the rock, and the rains come and tumbling down. The rains come down and the water comes up, and the house on the rock stands firm. But you build your house on sand. The rains come up and the house is washed away. And I've seen lots of them, churches and schools and communities, they wash away without a solid foundation. You need an enduring foundation, and that's a whole other thing. So, oh, another thing with like the serenity is at first I thought it was going to be like a shield. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. It'll protect me. It'll protect me from all these things that I cannot change. I hold my peace, right? And then I was like, wait, it should be a treasure. Oh, I thought it should be a treasure to begin with. I thought it should be a treasure to begin with. Oh, it's this treasure. We need to hide it away. Keep it safe. It's my peace. You can't have it. Because you can't take my peace. You can't. You have no control over how I feel unless I hand it over to you. And you can't have my peace. Nope. But then I have learned that peace is also a shield. If I use my peace as a shield and I remember that it's here instead of tucked away where I kind of don't see it all the time, then it helps me remember that when there's attacks coming in, I'm like, oh man, how hurt are you? Which layer are you on? Which one is this triggering for you? I hope you heal. I hope you heal. So anyway, bring it to this week where I just am appalled. There was an argument made 50 years ago where they cherry-picked the Constitution. And over the last 50 years, people have said it's a right. It is not a right. It is not a right and never was. That is a lie. Okay, I did prep this part because I wanted to make sure I got back to it. So lying, the definition of lying is not telling the truth. So what is the truth? The truth, according to the dictionary, is the quality or state of being true. You gotta take a minute to figure out what all these things mean, right? So what's true? It's in accordance with fact or reality. It's accurate or exact. One would say definable. In accordance with fact or reality. Not opinion. Not a feeling. Fact or reality. So what's untrue? Untruth is not in accordance with fact or reality. It's false or incorrect. It also means not faithful or loyal, which is very interesting because this is what I found in a few families around here. There happens to be people of a group that have decided that their truth is more important than you. They've decided that if you don't play along with their truth, they will withhold love. They will remove themselves from this world. There's a lot of emotional abuse happening in families. And it's not the way that it's being portrayed. Loving someone as they are means you accept them, period, as they are. That doesn't mean that I have to change my values or my morals for you. That means that I recognize that you are a human being that is struggling. And I also recognize that the way I speak is not helpful to you. The way I am, the way I choose to be, the way I function healthily in my life is somehow raw to you, then I will lovingly remove myself. Now, I know people are going to scream and yell and whatever. That's their choice. But I don't get to speak for them because that's not me. I'm not them. Okay? But there are families, and I mean, there's a lot of them right now, where this person is emotionally manipulating the entire family, tearing it apart. That's not okay. I don't care what your truth is. That's not a truth. That's not a good way to be. And I got to thinking too, like, got to be a word for that. There is. It's called anarchy. Anarchy is a state of disorder due to absence or non-recognition of authority or other controlling systems. So it's almost like the kicking and hitting from my 2-year-old. I don't like this. I don't want those shoes. Which might be true. It might be 100% true for you, but it's not true for the whole world. And your wants should not supersede the family getting to church on time, or the family getting to story time on time, or the family getting to gymnastics on time, or soccer, or whatever you're trying to get to while your 2-year-old is having a meltdown. But in those moments, if you stay calm, you can assess and see, is this just a power struggle, or is there something really going on here? And it's taking 1 minute to acknowledge your child might save you a lot of grief for the rest of the day. Or it might feed into the crazy and cause you grief for the rest of the day. So I don't know your audience and speak their language, right? So anarchy is going against everything just because you don't want to follow the rules. So if we are upset with how other people are, and then we try to tear down the system, what are we doing? I have a person that I haven't talked to in a really long time. In the last like handful of times I reached out, there's either no response or weird response. So I kind of said goodbye to them. I don't know. It wasn't that long ago, within the last year. I posted that I was really, really happy that some truths will be coming out because there's been a lot of lying and manipulation and a whole ton of federal funding going to something that's not good for humanity, in my opinion. And they lie about it. They lie about it and they lie about it and they lie about it. And then, you know, if you are hurt in the system, you are not supported. You're given hush money, literally hush money. And if they hurt you bad enough that you're damaged, there's no recourse. They let her hire a lawyer. And then when they got there, they pretty much smacked their lips and said, you signed an agreement. It's not our fault. What? They weren't even sorry. They weren't even sorry. And she's not that, you know, it's not like the 2%. This happens to a lot and they can't talk about it. And it's like, why are we shushing people that have a genuine and real problem? And we're, for whatever reason, giving all of our ears and attention to somebody who is just genuinely attention seeking. I don't know. But I've been struggling with this thought, not because I hate anybody, because I don't. If you are so, I understand feeling broken, and I understand feeling like there is something fundamentally wrong with you, but there's not. You can't change anyone around you, but you can change you. You can remove yourself. You can choose how you react to things. You have the power to decide where to go from here. And if you can do it like this, then it's probably a good decision. It's panicking, you're freaking out, you can't get your thoughts together. It's not a good place to be. You cannot make good decisions from here. If you are grieving or you are, I don't know, any of the big emotions, those are not a time to make decisions. And if you are reacting, and you can't take a breath, it's because you're avoiding something. Yep, sorry, it's because you're avoiding something. So take a deep breath, face your demon. No, don't. Take a deep breath, ask for help. Take a deep breath and ask for help. He's always there, but he's not going to make you do anything. You get to make your own choices, and then you get to live with them. He's right there with you. By he, I mean God. I don't care what you call your God, but you're not alone in this universe. And for anybody who thinks that they are, then no wonder we're making crazy decisions. You're not alone. You never were. It's just that, I don't know. We have my child, like this is evil and this is good. And then this is him, right? He gets to decide. Is he gonna lean on evil? Is he gonna trust that or good? Or is he gonna lean on evil? Or is he gonna lean on his own understanding? And that's not being involved with either one per se, but it's also not choosing the side that's truth. Lies and truth, lies and truth. You get to decide in that moment, am I going to embrace this lie or am I going to embrace the truth? And the truth is often hard. The truth is, maybe she shouldn't have been a mother. The truth is, maybe she was not your focus. The truth is, Maybe what he says has nothing to do with you. The truth is that you are beautifully and wonderfully made on purpose. The world needs you and your special gifts. But if you have all of the knowledge in the world, if you have the faith of angels, but you don't speak in love, you are nothing but a clanging gong, causing anarchy and dissonance when we crave and ache for harmony and resonance. So, the other thing nobody wants to talk about is language is an agreement too. And I don't agree with some of the language that's out there. And you don't get to decide what I agree with. And you don't get to decide what my morals are. I am strong in the truth. I am strong in the faith. I am strong with where I need to stand. It has nothing to do with you. But if we allow for random emotional craziness to dictate how the world goes, like that's all right. So I do the Bible, and the devil is out to seek to destroy. Satan is the father of lies. I don't know if you know this story. Let me briefly sum it up. I'm not a theologian. I don't have any degrees behind my name. I don't. I just know that I have a brain. I was put here for a reason, and I trust in the calm. I trust in the peace. There was nothing, and there was God. Except God. There was only God. And I don't know where the angels came from. I'll be honest about that. I don't know. So he created the heavens and the earth. I don't know if he did it with the Big Bang. I don't know how he did it exactly. But all these things were. Here's one thing I do know. He made light. Then he made waters. Then he made, I can't remember, but animals and birds and all those are in there. And then he made man. So things got progressively, I don't know, complicated. We'll say that. And then he made woman. Woman was his last creation. And woman is very, very, very much under attack right now. Man and woman, he made them also under attack. I am the way, the truth, the life. Light? I am the way, the truth, the light. I am the way, the truth, the light. No one. Anyway, that's going to get me in trouble with a whole bunch of people. But God, bigger, omniscient. Yeah. Anyway, so we had the humans all down here. We had the angels all up here with God. And I love that too, because even God knew he couldn't do everything by himself. And he's 3 in 1 for gosh sakes. He's 3 in 1 for gosh sakes. Very relational. You have the angels, they're all doing their angel things. And there was one that was really close. What was his name? Bright Morning Star or Bright Star or Morning Star or something like that. And he was really close. And he decided that he could do and be. He decided he could be God. He could be God. And he did such a good smear campaign that he got a whole bunch of them to be on his side, right? And they rose up and they're going to take over, right? And in the blink of an eye, he sent them to hell. Because he knows your heart. He knows you. He knows your innermost being because he formed you in your mother's womb. He colored your skin and he chose your genitals and he knew and loves as is. In your worst, most awful, most separated from him moment, and your closest, sweetest, he's got an indentation of you, that's how close you are, moment. His love for you is exactly the same. Through every up and every down, his love for you does not change. ever. It's not conditional. He's with you. He's prompting you. He loves you. But he's never going to make your choices for you. And he could, but he's never going to. Meanwhile, you've got your adversary that has no power, except that he's pissed. And he just sits there and screams at you. Say this. Do you remember that? Take offense, take offense, take offense. Take a deep breath. I have a thing up in my bathroom that helps. You know, just if there's a confusing or a smearing or a seeking to destroy moment, like if I have to furrow my brow and I have to like harden my heart, it's not going to go anywhere good. Now there's a righteous anger. There is, but it feels different. It doesn't feel the same. It's like a okay, let's do this thing. It's a different than it's just different. And I've only got to experience it a couple times. And when I first found God, I put on my kicking boots and I was like, use me, Lord. I got my kicking boots on. The only person who's ever asked me to kick is myself. That's okay. So this is like the longest, and I should probably go either pick up or get started or go back to bed because I think it's like 3:30 in the morning. So, I'll do that then. So thanks for settling in for a chat with me. I know this got really long. And the thing is, I know that I don't know everything, but I know that in this moment, these are the things that keep me sane and calm and capable of loving other people. These are the things that, through trials and tribulations, have helped me stay sane and calm and loving. Because all that other stuff is easier. It's not better. So there's a more thing, because I don't think anybody's ever going to watch this. So the person that attacked me, well, she didn't attack me. She put up a shock and awe thing, right? But she forgets that I was there for the first one. I was around for the first one. She forgot. I don't know. Did she forget? Whatever. But I also know when that was. And I also know if her timeline's correct, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? So there's just a lot of hurt and pain there. And I see that clearly. It's just, you have to scream at people in a public forum. Like, come on, let's take a deep breath, please. So my heart aches for her. She got a bad hand, or she chose a bad hand. I don't know. You have to ask her because that's her life. But I don't know. So I've been praying nonstop for her ever since, just because I don't know where she's at, but this very much makes me reminiscent of when I just felt lost and overwhelmed and buried and unseen and so much hurt. Lord, thank you. Thank you for having a plan and for loving us more. Thank you for using all things for good for those who love you and were chosen. I don't like that part, Lord, but we've had that argument a million times, so I'm not going to do that here. I pray for those that are struggling, that they find a way to take that deep breath, that they seek out the way to stand firm, and not in an anger, but in a But where you need them to be. Lord, we thank you for them taking the time to watch all the way through if they chose to do that, Lord. We thank you for making me articulate and verbal so that I can say the things I need to say to those around me to help us to connect and to help to bridge those gaps instead of cause more separation. I know that this was a learned thing. I know that we all have an opportunity to mend or to tear, and that tearing's easier. And I thank you for helping me mend. Lift up all those that are hurting, Lord, and even my raw bits that I haven't dealt with yet. I thank you for being so kind with me about them while I struggle to stop wounding myself and heal. I pray for truth to shine through. I just pray for people to get tired of the lies. It's exhausting, and it's exhausting. Lord, I pray for communities where people have each other to lean on, but not put above you. That's also seems to be a hard thing for a lot of people. I thank you for all of the good and all of the blessings. And I pray for eyes and ears and hearts and hands to stay open, Lord, so they can see and hear and feel and accept all of these beautiful blessings that you have for us. And help me accomplish that before Christmas. In your beautiful and precious name we pray. Amen. You know what we're talking about? Yep. Before Christmas. All right, friend. You're amazing. You are vital, which means necessary for life. Take a deep breath. Get out of reactive. Let's see. Let's see what you can do. What do we say? Choose life. In every day, in every way. Choose life.